We are in Eagle Rock, near Los Angeles, with my friend Elizabeth Bailey. And we are going to talk about her daughter's artwork. I know normally when I've done interviews with people, I've talked to them about their work. But I find your daughter's work really interesting in how she approaches it. So first, tell us a little bit about your daughter.
My daughter Grace is 9. She's almost 10 years old, and she has autism. And ever since she was a toddler, she's just produced a tremendous amount of art. She just wants to express herself constantly through drawing and sculpting and painting. And so she kind of keeps doing that until she destroys the finished product. So I started taking some of it and putting it aside and making a collection of what she was doing, because I felt like I could see themes sort of emerging in her work, and so that's what I was talking to Ted about.
She doesn't seem to draw like cute things. She doesn't seem to draw the normal stuff that kids do. A lot of her work seems to have a narrative and of her trying to figure things out. So let's talk about this one. Like, so you were just telling me you had to buy this one.
I did.
From her so she wouldn't cut it up and destroy it.
I did. Because usually when she makes something, she then wants to cut it into pieces, reassemble it, maybe mix it with dirt, put it... She has a lot of just really off-the-wall ideas, which is great. This, in particular, with the numbers, Grace has an extremely difficult time grasping spatial and numerical concepts. And so for her, this, I think, is mysterious and challenging, and she creates a lot of work where she just repeats jumbles of incoherent letters and numbers and things over and over. And I'm not totally sure, is she trying to make sense out of it? Is she trying to make a statement? Does this reflect how chaotic her world is? But in this case, she had a tape measure out, and she was telling me, I'm doing math, and she would make a measure, write it down, make a measure, write it down, make a measure, write it down. And then this is what came of it.
So she is verbal.
Very.
And did she draw before? You had mentioned me she started speaking when she was about 4.
Yeah.
So was she drawing already before she was 4?
Yeah. Well, it was more paint. We discovered early on that she loved paint. She wanted to put her hands in things, feel it, and move it around, and so she was painting a lot.
So let's talk about a couple of these other...
Okay.
Let's talk about this one. To us, looks like a cat.
Yeah.
You want to grab that?
Yes. So Grace made this shape and cut it out, and I asked her, like I sometimes do with her stuff, well, what is that, or what are you doing? And she doesn't always answer, but in this case, she told me, that's my nightmare. That's the nightmare I had. So this is another challenge for Grace, is the concept of time, telling time and place, and so this is just her drawing clocks, circles of clocks. She does this a lot. I try to talk to her about the recent election. I try to, tell her about all these things going on in the world, even if I don't think she'll understand them. And she told me that this is the American flag. She redrew it for me.
Which, from my point of view, is pretty accurate right now.
Yeah.
So this little bit of storytelling that
Yeah.
she tried to put together, because it seems to me, looking at this stuff, and again, she's really trying to understand things. Like, this is almost an example of her trying to figure things out, whereas other kids are drawing things they see. These look like interpretations of what she's seeing.
Yeah, so stuff like this, it interests me and it kind of troubles me. This, where she draws random shapes that are almost letters and then scribbles them out. And I do feel like it shows the frustration that she must feel, trying to put together a meaning around her and really not grasping maybe the whole picture. I feel like she gets things in fragments, and that I think is reflected in these little tiny itty-bitty tiny pieces.
Hold a couple of these up.
Yeah, I have hundreds of these where it almost looks like she's saying something, but then she's not really saying something. And
Does she ever write words?
Yes.
Can she write words?
Oh yeah, there'll be words mixed in there. She can write words, but she often chooses to just do imitations of words and then tapes them together into kind of book shapes. And she makes sculptures out of tape and dirt.
Dubuffet did the same thing. And look how he turned out.
Yeah, I mean, but then she has her, like this, okay, this that's supposed to, it's like hieroglyphics, but not, or I don't know.
Well, let's talk about this one with the money.
So, money's a big thing for her.
So she painted on it. It's illegal, but she did it. So, do you think she's trying to explain things to you, or like, does she expect you to understand this?
I don't know, but as you were talking, I realized I hadn't said one probably critical piece, which is that she has a lot of anxiety. So it's not just autism. She is pretty anxious about the world in general. And I think that art helps her feel, it's like a release. It helps her feel more secure. So I don't know if this is really a statement of intent or if it's just frustration. And and the money, yeah, I do want to say something about the money. So she wanted an allowance so badly, and she's very interested in money, although she doesn't really understand it. The first $1 that she got from her allowance, I found her, she colors them all, but I found her cutting it up and reassembling it into a collage. I don't know what happened to that one. I lost that one. But, I didn't know how to feel about that, if I should stop her, if I should not stop her. And then she started asking for coins, and she would take them, and I do let her use a hammer because she's okay with it. She likes to smash rocks and make things out of the rocks. And she started taking money and smashing it and discoloring it, leaving it in water. And I asked her why she was doing that, and she said that she had to make it into something else. That's all she could tell me.
She's going to be like an artistic genius later on. She's going to be in every museum doing this sort of stuff. I want to take the camera and go in her room and show how much work she's got and how she sets it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes what she does, I don't see one of them really here, but or maybe this one. Sometimes she makes a bunch of stuff and tapes it together, and she tells me it's a story. It's almost like she's making her own storyboard. And I don't know, she likes to do some magazine collages, and I think again this is like kind of this is her kind of storyboard idea in her mind. These are a progression of things. I've asked her about that.
Let's talk about these two, because these get back to what we were saying before. These sort of numbers, and I mean, they kind of do remind me of Basquiat and his sort of random type sort of things. That
I think the world is chaotic and it is scary to Grace, but she is also extremely spirited child, very determined, and I think it's like shows how crazy it all is to her, but I think she takes joy in it too. I really think that that's an expression of joy as well, if that makes sense.